Peace and Black Power family. Peace, peace. This is Jade Arundel, aka Lioness Crowns. I'm your revolutionary, unapologetically Black African host right here at flynubianqueen.com, the network for melanated women like you. All right, so I want to welcome you all into the Lioness Den. Today's Tuesday. I was unable to come on yesterday, and truth be told, the time is 11:11. I'm gonna have to hop off because I have 3 major deadlines that I need to meet today, and I need to do my daily spiritual practice, and I need to go outside and get some running on because I need to exercise. But I'm coming in to say, hey, this is gonna be a really, really brief broadcast. I do want to talk about what everyone is talking about right now, what everyone is in fear of, and I want to know, are we ready? Are y'all ready for massive food shortages? Because right now, what's coming out of mainstream news media, as well as certain states, certain parts of the food supply industry, they're saying that food shortages are soon to ensue. So we need to be prepared about that. All right. So I want to welcome you all in to Fly Nubian Queen. If you haven't done so already, make sure you text the word Queens to 31996. That's Queens with an S to 31996. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the share button on this video. I definitely want this message to get out. We need to start thinking about some things and planning ahead. What inspired me to do this broadcast, in addition to like some of the reports that have been coming out this week, if you were listening to me last week, I mentioned that Dr. Claude Anderson was on Dr. Boyce's show, and he was talking about a famine that's soon to come into being. And so Dr. Anderson, is predicting, and I trust Dr. Anderson wholeheartedly, he's predicting that there's going to be a water shortage, that the prices of food is going to go up, and there's just going to be a general food shortage that's going to lead to a famine. All right, so if you heard that broadcast, let me know. And if you haven't, I want to make sure you go over there. Peace and Black Power. I see people are starting to come into the chat room. Let me know how y'all are doing today. Additionally, let me know what city you're in, and let me know that if the food supply chain tanks and there's a shortage of food, how are you going to feed your family? How are you going to feed yourself? How are you going to feed your family? As y'all are doing that, I'm going to invite you or remind you to go over to our shop at shopfnq.com. That's shopfnq.com. Get you a mug, get you a hoodie. We have backpacks. The backpack's really, really cute, actually. And some t-shirts. So if you have like any quarantine birthdays coming up or, Mother's Day is coming up, different holidays are coming up, but definitely Mother's Day, birthdays, anniversaries, those sorts of things, you definitely want to go over to our shop at shopfnq.com. Buy Black, support our brand. All right. So, hey, I see Andrea. I see people coming into the room. I see big boys coming into the room. I don't know if I can answer your question. Depends on what it is. This isn't an open-ended forum. I'm focusing on what we're talking about, which is getting our people prepared in the event that there is a massive food shortage. So this article came out from The Root, and it's titled Tyson Foods Warns That the Food Supply Chain is Breaking. Okay, so that came out yesterday at 7:30 p.m. The coronavirus pandemic has seen businesses in all sectors face closures, with the food industry being no exception, as multiple food processing facilities shut down due to workers contracting the disease. One executive at Tyson Foods warns that, quote, the food supply chain is breaking. That definitely sounds scary. The Hill reports that Tyson Foods board chairman John Tyson took out a full-page ad in the New York Times, Washington Post, and the Arkansas Democrat Gazette to highlight the pressure the coronavirus pandemic has put on the food supply industry. Quote, millions of animals, chickens, pigs, and cattle will be depopulated because of the closure of our processing facilities, Tyson wrote. The continued closures will result in farmers having no place to sell their livestock. Consumers will also feel the effects of the closures. Quote, there will be limited supply of our products available in grocery stores until we are able to reopen our facilities that are currently closed, end quote, Tyson added. Let me just pause for a second. Welcome into the broadcast, y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the share button. If this is your first time tuning in, I'm Jade Arundel, aka Lioness Crowns. I'm right here on Fly Nubian Queen. on flynubianqueentv.com on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at lunchtime. Yesterday, I was unable to be here, so I'm making up for this really, really briefly today, and I have to jump into some deadlines. And if y'all curious, I have my portion of a grant proposal to finish. I have homework to do for a study group that I'm in. I have to take a class with Professor Mabaina Bello today at 1 p.m. And that's probably going to go on to like 4 o'clock p.m. And then I also have a new course that I'm starting today. All right, a new course that I'm starting today on overcoming generational trauma, and it's with Dr. Joy DeGrew. All right, so I have things I need to do. And I also need to do my daily spiritual practice. That's the first thing I should have done when I woke up, but I also have to go out and run. So we're going to make this really, really quick. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This is Jay Arendelle. On my show, I talk about political things, things that are trending within our community, and I try to gauge it from a community organizing standpoint, a B1 standpoint, and just to put things out there that we need to be planning for to get ahead. The mantras that I work with are, or the principles, the values that I work with are fortitude, preparedness, and collectivism. So everything I'm going to bring you is going to fall within those categories. Fortitude, having the strength of mind to be empowered. Preparedness, for us to stay ready so we ain't got to get ready. And then all the way also collectivism, for us to work together and to put our community first so that we can create our own liberation. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all for hitting that like button. I see some more people have just joined us. So I had to stop and pause right quick because I just read a quote out of The Root. And the Tyson Foods board chairman, John Tyson, made this statement and saying that millions of animals, quote, millions of animals, chickens, pigs, and cattle will be depopulated because of the closure of our processing facilities. There's been so many people working at these meat processing plants that have contracted COVID-19. I mean, like at least 1,000 workers. There are at least 5 meat processing plants around the country that have been shut down. And as a result of that, because the workers aren't there to process meat, they're just going to slaughter. And the term that they use in this article is depopulate. Millions of animals, chickens, pigs, and cattle will be depopulated because of the closure of our processing facilities. And there's not going to be any more meat coming onto the shelves until people get better and it can reopen and resume, slaughtering animals and processing them and packaging them and then putting them on your grocery shelves. So I had to point that out because it's like, first of all, well, one, if you don't know me now, hopefully this is a good introduction into who I am. I'm vegan, and I've been 100% vegan for about a year and 5 months. Okay, about a year and 5 months. No, I'm sorry, 2 years and 5 months I've been vegan, straight up. Another thing that I want to add is that, listen, I like seafood. I used to love, you give me some filet mignon, beef, all of that. Like, I loved it. I made this shit to be vegan for health reasons, but I'm also not here to put anyone down or drag anybody for being meat eaters. What I am doing, though, in this broadcast is bringing a heightened awareness of the fact that because people are sick with COVID-19, millions of animals are just going to be killed. They're just going to be killed and slaughtered. They're probably going to bury them somewhere. And it just brings light to the amount of waste, food waste that's already in this country. Thanks so much for coming in and hitting that like button. I need everyone to hit the like button right quick. The amount of food waste, and then also like how in American culture, we tend to just over consume. We are overdoing it. We're over consuming. And I am not at all like one of those vegans. Like there's like vegans out there that won't wear leather. They won't, they think that it's wrong or bad to like, kill an animal for any reason, any circumstances. I'm not one of them type vegans. You know what I'm saying? You give me a nice leather bag or some nice leather shoes, I'm going to rock it. I believe that like men and women were created in God's image to have dominion over the earth. You know what I'm saying? And with that, there comes a certain level of respect for life and for other beings. And so like this massive meat consumption and killing all these animals and stuff, and some of this stuff we shouldn't really even be eating, but that's a whole nother story. But I just wanted to highlight that because it's just like, damn, all of those animals are just going to be killed as a result of people being sick, and not being able to process meat. And then with the food shortages of meat happening in your local grocery store, that's definitely going to create a scenario where there's going to be price gouging, right? The price of meat is going to go up. like Dr. Claude Anderson has warned us, or has been warning us for years, as you know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has warned us, for us to, you know, grow our own food, take care of our own selves. But now this is actually happening in real life. Back to the article. Tyson has closed facilities in Logansport, Indiana, Waterloo, Iowa. The Waterloo plant has been connected to at least 182 cases of COVID-19. Rival food distributor Smithfield, that's the pork processing place, Smithfield has closed a facility in Sioux Falls, South Dakota after one employee died from contracting the disease. JBS closed its Worthington, Minnesota facility. The Worthington, Waterloo, and Sioux Falls facilities are responsible for 15% of the nation's pork supply. All right. Workers at Tyson's Waterloo facility told CNN that conditions in the plant made it impossible to practice social distancing, and that the company waited too long to implement proper protocols. Tyson wrote in the ad that the company is administering daily temperature checks and requires all employees to wear face masks. So they're doing that now, like what are we, 8 weeks in? Or what, 3-4 months into a COVID-19 outbreak in the country, and they're just now telling their people to wear face masks? Wow, this is baffling. This is baffling. So this is what I want to raise to y'all. How do you all think that this is going to show up in our community? Where if you live in an inner city, in certain inner cities, in certain predominantly Black neighborhoods within inner cities, you definitely know that some of us are living in food deserts. Some of us are living in food deserts where there's nothing around but, you know, maybe a carry out, a liquor store, a check cashing place. Maybe there's a Subway, sandwich place, McDonald's, Burger King, a whole bunch of fast food, but not a lot of access or minimal access to grocery stores. And when there are grocery stores, the food in food deserts is usually the stuff that like the rest of the other, you know, supply chains just don't want. And so they dump in our neighborhood. I mean, you can go into convenience stores or grocery stores and stuff and check the labels, some of these cans or expiration dates on any of the food provided. Some of that stuff is expired. That's already in our food deserts. And so we're making a bad situation, or a bad situation is potentially going to be even worse when you're talking about a full-on meat shortage. Now, that's the financial aspect. That's the resource aspect of like not a lot of food being available. But what happens when the price of food goes up and you are hell bent on eating some chicken, or you hell bent on eating your ham hocks and your pork chops and your chitlins and your, you know, your beef ribs and, you know, everything that we tend to eat. And I've eaten that, you know, before, you know, as well. So I'm not like food shaming anyone, so to speak. I hate that term. Everything is shaming these days, but I'm just bringing some awareness. What happens when you are addicted to eating those things? Like that is your standard American diet or your standard soul food diet or whatever, and it's no longer accessible. Mentally, emotionally, psychologically, what is going to be the impact of not being able to access the things that you need to eat, that you want to eat, that you're used to eating? What happens then? What happens then? I want to know what y'all are saying about that. And in the meantime, while I'm pulling up your comments, I'm going to welcome you into the Lioness Den. I'm Jade Arundel, aka Lioness Crowned, your revolutionary, unapologetically Black African host right here at flynubianqueen.com, the network for melanated women like you. All right. Somebody says it's purely speculation. Hey, Leslie Savage, peace, what's up? Angelique Strickland says, Angelique Strickland Hendricks, peace to you, queen, says, I will go vegan. When you're hungry, you got to eat. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. So Lady Blue 03 says we can adapt. I hope so. I hope so. Listen, if anybody have any old folks in their family who are like really, really stubborn and not about that life, you try to ask them or invite them to eat something different, and they're like, I'm not eating that, I'm not eating that, I'm not trying that. I'm like, it's just soy, it's just tofu, it's vegetable protein. Nah, ew. Like, they have the same reaction sometimes to vegan food that I have to somebody asking me to eat some damn chitlins. You know what I'm saying? So on a psychological level, I think that if it does get to the point, which I suspect that it will get to a point where the food supply chain is going to break. They're already sounding the alarm early, y'all. So it's either we take heed or not. But when it actually happens, I think if you think folks was like desperate trying to go out there and find some toilet paper and paper towels, imagine when you tell somebody they can't get their pork chops. Like, come on. I mean, this is like a real thing. But yeah, I do agree with Dallas Libra 85. Change your diet. Yeah. And so that's why I'm coming on today to invite us to try to experiment at least with a more plant-based diet. What do I mean by a plant-based diet? More greens, more fresh fruits, anything that's non-meat, non-dairy. Just try to start to get into the rhythm of cooking, it that way, or just removing meat from your diet, because one, is good for your overall health, your cholesterol, everything. Two, it supports a healthier brain function. Three, your digestive system processes it better, processes non-meat, non-animal products better than it does meat products. And you can still, like, don't believe the myth that you need all these like fats and vitamins and minerals coming out of meat products. You don't. You can get the same thing from nature, from plants. Okay, and where you're lacking something, then that's where you will talk to your holistic practitioner or your primary care doctor and say, hey, what sorts of vitamins and minerals and supplements should I be taking? And I highly recommend a plant-based dietary supplement every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should just take your vitamins. Like, y'all, people give their kids Flintstone vitamins. Women take vitamins when they are pregnant, prenatal, and postnatal. I think that we should just be in a habit of taking good, healthy vitamins anyway. But everything that we need is already in what God gave us, like the fruits and vegetables and stuff that God has given us. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. So I am offering that you try to experiment maybe like 1 day a week. If you don't want to do a full day a week, maybe 3 meals a week. Try 3 meals a week with having no meat, let's start slow. 3 meals a week with absolutely no meat in it. Maybe you want to have dairy, maybe you still want to eat cheese or something, but just try to cut meat out of your diet for 3 days a week and see what happens. Okay, so that could be like every 3 days of the week at lunchtime, I'm only going to eat salad. Or for breakfast, 3 days a week, I'm only going to eat bread, or maybe a bagel and cream cheese and some fruit. I don't have to have sausage or turkey bacon or, pork bacon or whatever. Just try it and see if you can scale up that way. In terms of because the point of this is to get your body adjusted to eating more fruits and vegetables, which it really, really wants, it craves, it really, really needs. But then also to break the psychological patterns that we have had. And that was like the hardest part for me going vegan, which was like, well, I had gone vegetarian and then I gave up red meat, gave up chicken, and then I was a pescatarian, and then I gave up, then I was full on vegetarian, but I was still eating dairy. And then after that, I stopped eating dairy. I was already eating, being vegetarian and being plant-based. And then I just went, full on vegan and tried to have more of a alkaline diet as I went along. Okay. The point of doing this is to get you adjusted emotionally and psychologically with not having to have meat, or not feeling frantic or panicked when what you're used to eating is not available. Okay, because when food shortages come, it's only going to compound. It's only going to compound the stress and everything else people are going under. We think that, again, looking for some Lysol wipes or some Lysol spray and some disinfectant and some bleach and some dang toilet paper and paper towels, is stressful, and annoying. Imagine how people are really going to start turning up and being anxious when there's no meat on the shelves because they're used to eating it. So we have to really adjust our diets to that. The next thing I want to talk about is the art of cleansing, detoxing, and fasting. Cleansing, shout out to you, Johnny Taylor. Cleansing, detoxing, and fasting. When I adjusted from being a meat eater into being like a full-on vegan, I had gone to Blends of Nature. I went through the company Blends of Nature, located at the shop, located within the shop at Namaskar, right? When I talked to Mama Muntu and you saw my brother Flo at the end, you didn't see his sister Shauna. But I will do an interview with her too, because she's a really powerful sister. When I went there, I was like, all right, I'm going to do a detox. I'm going to do a 7-day detox. It's going to be full of everything. It was just like, get everything in a package, right? 4 gallons of alkaline water I had for 7 days, 4 gallons of fruit juice. Within those 4 gallons of fruit juice, there were 2 gallons of green juice with, I would say, like 15 different types of greens and vegetables in it. Everything's blended into a glass. These are also coming in glass gallons, right? You don't put any, we don't use plastic for alkaline water or for these sorts of cleanses. But anyway, all of those juices have sea moss in them, right? Good for your immune system. There's no added sugar or anything. If you want, I think he uses like, you know, a lot of different like natural things that we should be using for sugars. And then there's 2 gallons of fruit juice. So 2 gallons of green juice, 2 gallons of fruit juices. One I think I got was a berry juice the first time, and then the second one was a papaya juice. Also, both of those are made with sea moss and then other vitamins and minerals and then other, you know, fruits in it. Then I had all of these tonics, a bitters. This is a colon cleanser that we talked about in that other broadcast that I use. It's called Dr. Missions. It's a colon cleanser. It's really, really bitter. The more bitter it tastes, that means the less alkaline your body is. And then the more you alkalize your body, the less bitter the bitters taste. It's really good stuff. So I had that, castor oil within the package, and I did a womb cleanse, right? So different female herbs, different teas and stuff, right? So either way, I had all of that stuff for 7 days. Oh, and then like some capsules to get parasites out of your body. If you don't think that you have parasites, we all have parasites, especially by virtue of eating this meat and stuff, right? So once I went through, the first time I did this 7-day liquid detox, I was drinking all of that stuff in tea and all of that stuff. And I had to pack glass, you know, jugs that they give you to, you know, go about my day. I was teaching and doing all of these things. Thank you so much, Johnny Taylor. I have been growing a spring and fall garden for years. Salute to you and your platform queen, also working on canning. Shout out to you, Johnny Taylor. We really appreciate your contribution to Fly Nubian Queen. Thank you. So the hardest part about my first 7-day liquid detox was that I was not chewing anything. I was not eating anything. Everything that I was ingesting was what I got in my package, and I had to stick to a regular, you know, like this regimen. And I had just like didn't realize how addicted I was to food, how I would just, you know, crave certain things. Oh my God, I want a piece of steak right now. Oh my gosh, I want some shrimp right now, and not being able to have it. I think I cried a couple times, honestly. I'm not lying. I think I cried a couple times because like I wanted to eat stuff so badly, and I had to like really break that within myself. And then I had to investigate like, dang, all of this time I've been eating, thinking that like I was eating to fulfill a, you know, a basic dietary need, but I realized that I was eating a lot out of like emotional eating, you know, out of like stress and anxiety. And I was like, dang. And I really had to sit and interrogate my relationship with food, and I had to change my relationship with food. So if you want to get into a new mindset and like exercise some discipline and be able to survive long term, because listen, if a famine happens in America, they're talking about meat right now. Everything affects everything. It's an ecosystem, right? So produce could be affected. You know, fresh fruits and vegetables, all of those things could be affected. Soy, the price of soybeans and stuff, that could affect me too. And so in the event that a famine or food shortages happen, I feel like I need to continue to practice fasting, just fasting from food, or and fasting and changing my relationship and me having control over my cravings, so that if and when the time comes of a famine, I'm able to survive that. I'm able to survive that. And I'm not going to crumble, you know, emotionally or psychologically because like I'm in fear of scarcity of food. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to, you know, we want to be in a situation where, let's say there is a food shortage and the price of food has gone up, or there's no food on the shelves. Let's say we're also in a scenario where we have stocked up on food in our homes with our families and we have to ration it out, you know, in order to survive the next 3 months because there's a food shortage. Well, you can't survive the next 3 months, even if you have a whole bunch of food in the house, if you can't discipline yourself to say, okay, I'm going to ration this out. I'm going to skip a meal, or I don't necessarily need to eat today. I can fast all day and break my fast at sundown. You know, I can eat once a day. I can eat every other day. I can juice my foods. I can drink water and teas. I can, you know, meditate and silence my mind so that I'm not running through my food supply all at one time. You know what I'm saying? Like, this type of stuff is real. Like, I've seen people stock up or save, you know, up on food, especially during this COVID situation. And groceries that's supposed to last 6 weeks are gone within like a week and a half, 2 weeks, because we don't have because we lack discipline. So these are things that we want to talk about. We want to think about. Yes, Leslie Savage says, Dr. Anderson said, get ready for water shortages because it's coming. Absolutely. Absolutely. We need to stock up on water. We need to get water filters, maybe an alkaline water filter. If you want to get a Brita filter, do that. If you want to, listen, I talked to a friend who lives in Jersey. She's really close to me. Shout out to Christine. Her water company is not even taking any new clients. She gets water delivery, like a home delivery, like for her water machine. They're not taking any more new clients. And she was nervous about being able to increase her order amount. You know what I'm saying? Like to order like more, like to double up on her order per month. So we got to see what happens with that. But I know that a lot of these water companies are not taking new customers. Another friend of mine has an alkaline water filter, and the shop that he goes to get the alkaline water filter to change it out is closed. And so now what he has to do is like go online and order. But he has to order a whole bunch of them at one time, just in case like the whole company shuts down. These are the types of things that we need to be talking about. So Leslie Savage, thank you again for bringing up that point that I underscored earlier about water shortages happening. Yep. So I'm seeing what y'all are saying. Yes, discipline is key, Dana. Mute Testament says, start eating your sprouts, get into sprouting. Absolutely. So these are the things we need to be thinking about. You might even want to go to Costco or Walmart or wherever you can go. Get you a couple 20-pound bags of rice. Get you a whole bunch of beans. Stock up on dry foods. Definitely stock up on water filters. Getting into canning, like what Johnny Taylor said, is a good idea. I need to get into canning. My mom knows how to do it. My grandmother down in Alabama, and then my aunts and them used to can. I'm gonna actually call my great aunt and ask her about it, because I do want to get into canning. I have glass jars and stuff like that. But these are the things that we need to start thinking about. And Kirk says he's doing his garden. That's absolutely awesome. Yeah, Dr. Anderson was talking about how he's going to come back onto Dr. Boyce Watkins' show and talk about how we can start growing our own food, growing our own plants, even within our homes. You can clear out a whole closet. You can, you can set it up on your dining room table and just get a UV light. So I'm definitely looking into that, because I mean, I do have some herbs that I grow seasonally. And then I used to grow tomatoes. I used to grow jalapeno peppers. I used to grow okra. And all of that good stuff. So I need to get back into my gardening situation. And I learned how to garden through my paternal grandfather, who was from Fort Pierce, Florida. May he rest in power. I love you, Grandpa. He would just plant everything, like eggplants. Like, he had a whole full-on garden in the middle of Atlantic City. It was awesome. I've been telling him to put seeds in the ground. Says Baba Del Rey. Yeah. Dana says, my dad knows how to can. I will ask him about it. Yep. Oh, Leo Jones said, Florida. You from Fort Pierce, Leo? You know where that is? So Lauren says she plants a lot of herbs. I think there's different things that you can spray on your plants. That really hasn't happened to me because most of the time, like my plants will be near a window. I would like open a window up, or like they will be outside. So I really haven't had that problem. I mean, that problem can happen though if you don't pick, you know, the fruits from your plants. Like, so like, let's say if I left the tomato up and I didn't pick the tomato and it started to rot, then, you know, you could get gnats and stuff like that. But it's just like with anything, I guess. There's certain things you can spray on it. I don't know any natural things to spray on it, and I wouldn't recommend spraying anything like store-bought. But you can definitely, I think, actually, what is it, Myers? They have stuff for vegetables. Definitely, I use to wash vegetables. They have like vegetable sprays and stuff, but I would look into that and seeing what you can spray. I would think like maybe, I don't know, lemon juice or something. So I'm glad we're having this conversation about growing our own food. That was the whole point of me coming on today. It wasn't about fear mongering, but listen, are we ready? Are we ready for food shortages? It seems like the folks on here are getting ready for food shortages. So that is a blessing. That is dope. All right, y'all. Oh, Herbert Harris, thank you so much for your contribution. These are the conversations that we should be having and taking heed to by doing. We have to stop depending on outsiders to take care of us. Shalom, family. Thank you. Shalom to you. Absolutely. Absolutely. So when y'all see me coming on, I definitely want to talk about what's trending, what's happening, and also how it's going to impact us and what we need to do to develop fortitude, preparedness, and collectivism. Right? This is that type of space. That's what we're creating and manifesting in the Lioness Den. We are creating a more secure future, productive conversations, positive energy, spiritual light, growth and development, right? So thank you so much for tuning in and supporting this channel. I welcome you to go over to our Facebook page and check out the rest of our queens who are delivering great content. If you think that you want to join our team, if you think you have what it takes to be on Fly Nubian Queen Network, I want you to go ahead and send an email over to producer@flynubianmedia.com. That's producer@flynubianmedia.com. Again, make sure you visit our shop at shopfnq.com. Check out our business programs. Our queens are over there doing the dang thing behind the scenes to make sure that there's great content and coaching and programming available at flynubianbusiness.com, flynubianbusiness.com, and also at flynubianmoney.com. That's flynubianmoney.com. All right, y'all. I am going to have to peace out. You will find me tomorrow, regular time, on right here at flynubianqueentv.com at lunchtime. So we're gonna talk more. We can talk more about getting ahead of food shortages and getting, you know, some preparedness in our community. There's some other topics and things that I do want to talk about. If you all could, before I leave, start typing in topic suggestions. What do y'all want to talk about in the Lioness Den? Give me a couple topic suggestions, and if you see this video after the live stream has ended, please comment in the comment section because I am going to look into those things. I do want to talk about things that y'all want to talk about. Everybody has been on Corona, COVID-19, COVID. Yes, it's there. There's multiple aspects of it. Important updates I will bring you, but I definitely don't want to spend all of our sacred time together dwelling on the problem or that problem only when there's so many other problems and things that we should be talking about. Okay, so Lorene says, let's talk creative business ideas. I like that. Oh, y'all are so sweet. All right. Creative business ideas. Elaborate. Let me know, like, what do you mean? Like brainstorming sessions or how to brainstorm? Okay, so Real Woman says, don't, I love that. Your name is Real Women Don't Do Nonsense. No, we don't. Queens don't do nonsense. A topic could be becoming self-sufficient. I like that. Okay. Someone else says the Most High is about to return. We can definitely talk about that if y'all want to. I also do respect, everyone's spiritual and religious ways of life and lifestyles. But if y'all want to talk about that, we can talk about that. My auntie says how to connect with like-minded people who desire to literally come together as one and collaborate and put our resources together for when the stuff hits the fan. Yep, we can definitely talk about that. Thank you, Apollo Mac. Ditto. Okay, so Kelly says options for Black networking for doing business with each other. Okay, thank you so much. Sheila Lewis, unifying our people. Yes, 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 that's a great topic. Black unity is a great topic. And how do we define Black unity? What is it supposed to look like? The dangers of unifying or trying to unify with the wrong people who actually can turn out to be enemies of our people. Dangers and things we should be thinking about, like, history, allowing history to be our best teacher in terms of like COINTELPRO and the Black liberation movement and our learnings from that, and Black unity. I love that topic. Got more shells than Taco Bell. Okay. Sounds funny. All right, solutions topic. So y'all like solutions. Yeah, this is an empowering space. We can find a million reasons to say, or if we wanted to believe that like Black people don't come together, which is a lie. We're falling behind. Maybe in some aspects, maybe some people choose to do that, but I'm not going to own any of that for our entire race. This is a space for us to empower ourselves, uplift each other, and move forward. So I'm so grateful that we have that in this space together. Okay, and so Mute Testament says fasting. Yes, let's talk more about fasting. Let's talk more about fasting, and maybe if I do talk about fasting, I'm gonna go over some things that our new ancestor, may he rest in power, Dr. Layla Africa said. Layla Africa has taught us about fasting. Okay, so Dana wants to talk about veggie-based meal ideas. Okay, I can kind of talk to y'all a little bit about some things that I cook. I have a whole bunch of photos on my phone of my vegan soups and dishes that I make. I can really start to post those things on IG. My IG is @LionessCrowns, @LionessCrowns on IG. I can start posting those. But I haven't been on social media as much because I'm protecting my spirit, and I got, we have real work to do, trying to stay focused on the work-life balance, the spiritual balance, that piece, and then also being intentional about what I'm like ingesting into my brain as well as my body. No, I'm not a Muslim. Announce Black businesses to acknowledge and support. Okay, we can definitely do that, Queen T. Thank you so much. I love you all. Thank you so much for these wonderful ideas. Thank you for sharing space with me. I want to make sure I secure some resources for our community. So I need to finish up my section of this grant proposal because I'm working in a team. I got to get ready for my classes this afternoon and this evening. I need to go for my run, and I have some books, some meditations and affirmations to do also. If you could, before you leave this broadcast, make sure you hit that like button. Share this broadcast. Also, do not fear, do not feed into the fear. They're saying that there will be food shortages. The question is, are we ready? Are y'all ready for massive food shortages? We talked about different things that we can do, so now it's up to us to do it. If you contributed, thank you. If you came into the live stream today, thank you. If you're watching this after the live stream today, thank you. If you share this and hit that like button, thank you, thank you, thank you. Look for me right here again on FlyNubianQueenTV.com at lunchtime tomorrow. We have things to discuss. I am so grateful for each and every one of you and for all of your ideas and topic suggestions. Let's get this work done. Also, I'm sending love, light, and healing energy to everyone affected by the crisis. And may you be guided, divinely healed, and protected. All right. This broadcast is ending, but so is global racism and white supremacy. We will defeat and trample this beast through fortitude, preparedness, and collectivism. And always remember that they stole us, they sold us, so they owe us. Be one. Until next time, family, peace and Black power.